Hey, take a quick look around you. Look at what you're wearing right now, the chair you're on, the curtains in your room. We are literally surrounded by textiles. But when was the last time you actually thought about them? Well, today we're going to unravel the hidden science, the rich history, and the amazing art woven into every single thread. And I mean a real story, a story that starts maybe in a field with a tiny cotton plant, travels through the hands of skilled artisans, and ends up as the very clothes you chose to put on this morning. It's a story of science, of identity, and right now we're going to follow every single twist and turn. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First up, we'll figure out what fabric actually is. Then we'll take a trip back in time to see how it all started. After that, we'll uncover its deeper meaning in our lives, explore all the surprising places textiles show up, and finally, we'll see how knowing all this helps you make smarter choices. Ready? Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, our world of fabric. We're starting with the basics, defining the very material that, well, kind of shapes our world. So what even is a textile? It's so much more than just a piece of cloth. You gotta think of it as the end result of this incredible transformation. It's where science meets ancient craftsmanship, and where both of those meet modern design. It's a whole universe of innovation packed into a single piece of fabric. And that whole journey from a simple fiber to the fabric you're wearing, it's basically a four-step marvel. It all kicks off with a raw fiber, let's say a humble cotton boll. That gets spun into yarn or thread. Then those yarns are woven or knitted together to actually create the fabric. And finally, you get the finishing touches. Maybe it's dyed a gorgeous color for a silk sari, or gets an intricate block print for a beautiful kurta. It's amazing, right? 4 steps that turn something from nature into wearable art. All right, so now we know how they're made. Let's take a look back at how this all started. In Section 2, we're going from leaf to loom, tracing the incredible story of how textiles have evolved over time. The history of textiles is really the history of human ingenuity. We started with the absolute basics, right? Using things like leaves and animal skins just to survive. But the first massive game changer was figuring out how to spin and weave. That literally helped build civilizations. And now, we're in a totally new era, engineering smart fabrics that can do things like monitor our health. It's incredible. But here's the thing. Textiles are about so much more than just cool technology. They're woven so deeply into our cultures, into our societies. In Section 3, we're going to see how they become way, way more than just thread. See, every single fabric is playing 2 rules at once. On one hand, it's functional. A cotton shirt keeps you cool. Super simple. But on the other hand, it carries so much meaning. Just think about khadi. It's not just hand-spun cloth, is it? It's a powerful symbol of our nation's history and self-reliance. Or think about a wedding lehenga. That's not just a fancy outfit, it's practically a vessel for tradition, family, and just so much emotion. And this is exactly what it all comes down to. During festivals like Diwali or Eid, the clothes we wear aren't just for putting on a show. They connect us to our heritage, to our families. The fabric itself becomes part of the celebration, literally woven with memories and tradition. Okay, so we get the why. Now let's talk about the where. Because textiles are absolutely everywhere. And in places you would never, ever expect. Welcome to Section 4, a textile for everything. So first, you've got the obvious one, apparel. That's our everyday clothes. Then there's home textiles. Just picture those beautiful block-printed linens from Rajasthan. But this is where it gets really fascinating. You've got technical textiles, things engineered purely for their function, like medical bandages or fire-resistant suits. And then there are industrial textiles, the unsung heroes working behind the scenes, the tough filters and conveyor belts that keep our world running. And the innovation just doesn't stop. We are right on the edge of this new frontier of smart textiles. Can you imagine a t-shirt that tracks your heart rate?
And at the same time, there's this huge, powerful push towards sustainable textiles made from things like bamboo or even recycled plastics, all to help protect our planet. The future of fabric is being woven as we speak.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most practical section, choosing your fabric future. Because after all this, why does any of it really matter to you in your daily life? Honestly, it all boils down to this one simple fact. Every time you buy a piece of clothing, you're not just buying an object. You are making a choice. And that choice has a real impact on you, on your wallet, and on the world. Look, when you understand textiles, you can start making really informed choices. You can think about your own comfort, like choosing breathable cotton or linen for a hot Indian summer. That just makes sense, right? You can think about durability, how to care for your clothes so they last longer, and crucially, you can think about the bigger picture, the environmental impact of what you buy and whether you want to support more sustainable fabrics. So, the next time you pick out an outfit, I really hope you see more than just cloth. You're holding a piece of history, a piece of technology, and a piece of culture right there in your hands. The story of textiles is far from over, and every choice you make adds another line to it. So the only question is, what will your chapter be about?